past us this time round. We start the clock. One flying lap from that point. Winner has the fastest time. Donated by Dave and Pat Day. Dave Day, the passenger of Flying Luca. So round comes Robbie Wilson. What will be his time? And Rob Wilson and Vince Jones's time, 23.88 seconds. That's the time for them to beat, 23.88 seconds. Flying lap for Rob Wilson and Vince Jones. Oh, Rustling and Paul Urycz coming round there now. See what sort of time they can get. I mean, that outfit is fast. As I said yesterday, if you were at the something else on three wheels. Away they go then. Looking extremely quick. Lost a little bit of time around that turn. I think he overslid there into the turn, but certainly quick down that straight. Rumoured to have over £6,000 spent on the engine during the winter, ladies and gentlemen. That's how much he intends to win. Master Series last year. What's his time? Rustling's time, 23.48. 23.48. So it's very close between himself and Rob Wilson. We're certainly in for some fast action here this afternoon. Wait to see who appears next. They might not necessarily come out in programme order, as they haven't so far. 55, Jerry Adams and Sean Pittock. Both Maidstone Aces runners. Sean Pittock on their Godden V twin. It says 998 Yamaha in the programme, but it's the Godden V twin that they've come out for the flying lap. Look very fast around that turn, and these Goddens certainly do pick up some grip. Keeping that motor on. How fast is Jerry Adams? Jerry Adams, time of 24.70. 24.70 for Jerry Adams. Well, this looks like John Hiscock coming up the back of the circuit there and onto the track. Flying lap at the Scintillator 600. John Hiscock, a man who's been around for a large number of seasons and always does well. One of the safest riders on the circuit. Passenger really getting down to it there and scraping his bum on the floor, I should think, as he goes round there. He'll have some bruises tonight if he does. But what a smooth track. Look at that passenger working uphill, down, dale. He's right alongside. For 1 minute I thought he'd fallen off. He was so low on that side. Round he comes in. What will be that flying time for John Hiscock? Well, looking at these times, this is anybody's racing here today. John Hiscock, 23.98. 23.98. Not even a second part in the four that have actually done the flying lap so far. So not a second between them. This is really going to be something else this afternoon.
Gary Jackson.
Gary Jackson and Gavin Williams coming round now, and I've just been told that this track is actually on the racing line. 621 yards on the racing line. Gary Jackson and Kevin Williams, they cleaned up yesterday at the SERA. They took the final in no uncertain terms at all. Very sorry for Nevill Penfold there yesterday. He had mechanical failure in the final whilst in the lead. But this man came from nowhere to win that final. He was really, really on form. Around the third area, he seems to be a bit wide, but he's just so fast. What will be his time? .82, another impressive time. Very, very close, these boys. Now Tim comes out with a Yamaha engined outfit, the Yamaha Wasp. Ain't lots of money been spent in this camp this year, and certainly paying dividends for his third place. A bit of problem there, though. Let's hope he got it fast enough across the line there to get a good run at that corner, although Tim Bennett looks as if he's got a little bit of trouble with that. Perhaps he didn't warm that engine up enough and it seemed to be spluttering, and don't think he's going to be quite so quick. But look out for him in the races, because once that thing gets warmed up, that flies. Jason Bennett crossing the line. Well, another rather quick time, but as I thought, slightly off the pace there when you consider the closeness of these boys. 24.25 for Tim Bennett and Jason Glenie. 24.25 in the future. Look at the style of that man round that corner. Now he's got to crack it on. This is the moment when it all starts. 500cc Java engine there. Must be nice to have all the track to yourself. Not wondering whether anybody's going to catch you up or pass you or break down in front of you. The whole world is your own. A lonely, solitary place. What time for Simon Giddings? Time for number 179, Simon Giddings, 23.53. Time for number 179, Simon Giddings, is 23.53. That's the time they set to be. Looks like Jason Jennett coming to the line then. Jason Jennett. Young man coming from strength to strength, if my memory serves me correct. He's in his third season of adult Grasstrack racing, and another young man that certainly hasn't disgraced himself, none at all, with his performances. Over on the song. Almost a lap of unofficial practicing. We'll have a load of protests from the pits in a minute. So 165 then, Jason Jennett giving it the big one on the GR500. Looking very quick down that back straight, putting his head down long track fashion. Cracking the motor on early around that turn, and what a super circuit this is. Lovely and smooth, the suspension hardly rippling on the surface. A slightly off flat billiard table. What a steady improvement on Simon Giddings' time there. It's for Jason Jennett, it's 23.20. 23.20 for Jason Jennett. Well, it's like Trevor Banks this time. Number 4 on his bike had the misfortune to break down in a heat yesterday and had only managed the B final in yesterday's meeting due to his chain coming off, so no doubt he'd like to put that right here this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, Trevor Banks, local man from Folkestone. Always a very fast bike. Just look at that front wheel pawing the air as he goes down that straight. Maximum drive, maximum ability to ride that machine round the turn. Sideways on, and here comes Trevor Banks. Cotton GR500 engine again. So misfortune yesterday cost him a place in that A final, but he won the B final in fine style. Very sporting Trevor Banks. A little bit wide around that turn, but the motor's full on, and Trevor Banks lifts the front wheel and crosses the line. 22.43. Trevor Banks, 22.43. Julian Phipps now, ladies and gentlemen. Julian Phipps coming out for his Nevill on, and he's the most local man to the track here. And he's right behind this commentary box here, and he just lifted his bike over the fence this morning and said, right, I'm ready. He laid in bed apparently till 11:45. And on to the flying lap then forward. Yeah, had to rebuild the motor last night from yesterday's meeting. Had a few problems and it needed sorting out, but it certainly looks on song this afternoon. Just look at him coming around there. Full bore. Obviously a fast time. Well, Julian Phipps there, accreditable to him, 24.26 seconds. Slightly off the pace, but a brave time from a brave local young man who last year rode 250 and this year crosses the border onto that big 500, and this, to the best of my knowledge, is only his second meeting on that bike. So Julian Phipps, closest man to the circuit, 24.26, and lining up there now, Vincent Kinchin, the long 6 foot odd figure of young Vincent Kinchin. On his warm-up lap. From New Romney on the Romney Marshes, which is good Grasstrack country, that I think that they must be saving the ground down there for some future date, because we haven't been to the marshes for some years, but the marshes are one of the homes of Grasstrack here in the southeast, and one day put them back on the map. Vincent Kinchin then flying round. Very quick round that turn. Head down, leg back, Vincent Kinchin. Well, very quick there for Vincent Kinchin, but not quite as fast as Trevor Banks. 22.71. 22.71 for Vincent Kinchin. That leaves us either Phil Ashcroft or Duncan Tolhurst. Not too sure who's coming. Phil Ashcroft or Duncan Tolhurst to complete the lineup. For his flying lap on the GM. Good variety of engines being used here today. There's Jawas, CRs and GMs. There's G's, J's and J's, and no G's, J's and G's. And this is DT, Duncan Tolhurst. I did mean to ask him this morning just how many seasons this was that he had come out for, but forgot all about it in the heat of the moment. Starting his flying lap now. Those new leathers. With the familiar style. They can hide it behind different colours, but the style is there. The style of seasons, many seasons, campaigning as junior and senior grass tracker. Flat out round that turn he comes. What time do we get for DT? .23.10 for Duncan Tolhurst. 23.10 for Duncan Tolhurst. Looks like we've got Phil Ashcroft as well then. An additional runner in this flying lap. 88 then, Phil Ashcroft. Another man who's been around a day or two and very quick on one of these Grasstrack solo machines. From Worley, trying to think where Worley is, but that's West Midlands I'm told quickly there, by Nobby Clark. Worley in the West Midlands, so he's had a long drive, he obviously means the business. Got himself a got. Certainly looks quick round that turn, it really was quick. Trevor Banks, watch your clock, because I think you've just been beaten. Phil Ashcroft looking tremendously quick round there, but we'll seem to touch slow into that turn, but look at him cracking it on there now. Head down, trailing leg, flat out. Here comes the finish line. What's his time? Number 88, Phil Ashcroft, a very fast time of 22.44. So Trevor Banks takes the flying lap on 22.43. Sponsored there by Godden Engineering and Wasp Chassis. So Godden Engineering and Wasp Chassis sponsored that, and Trevor Banks walks away with the prize, 22.43 seconds. Is their start line grid number, so stops them racing up to the line to get the deepest rut or best start line position. Of course, the Battle of Britain with this fantastic entry there. Unfortunately, I left my piece of paper behind yesterday's meeting. It had a list of riders on it, but it reads like a who's who of Grasstrack in both the solo and the sidecar classes. Tunbridge and District Motorcycle Club Limited running on the boarded circuit at Collier Street. That's followed by the GTSA, Grasstrack Sidecar Association. They're running at Lowfield Heath near Gatwick Airport on the following Sunday. More details about that in a moment. Here we go. Race number 1 is underway. A fantastic start there from number 6, Rustling and Paul Urycz and Tim Bennett and Jason Glenie, with Gary Jackson then moving into second place. Gary Jackson and Kevin Williams. Really quick. And a lot of money and a lot of time and effort spent on that machine during the winter. And it's certainly paid off. Just look at that bike walking away down that straight. Gary Jackson has no answer to that power at all. Must be rather disappointing for Gary, knowing the ability is there to compete with Rustling. Gary Jackson and Kevin Williams there in second place. Tim Bennett and Jason Glenie holding a good third. Richard Jennett and Nick Walters in fourth. Colin Hutton and Salter in fifth. Mick Cave, Andy Orchard in fifth place. And bringing up the rear there, Bob Mills and Jeff Sims. So starting the last lap, as he did in that flying lap, as the fastest man on the circuit. Just look at him go. Saw that outfit for the first time 2 weeks ago up in Essex, and it just walked away from the opposition like they were standing still. He's really going for it. There goes the checkered flag. First one of the afternoon to Rustling and Paul Urycz, followed by Gary Jackson and Kevin Jarvis, then Tim Bennett and Jason Glenie. Richard Jennett and Nick Walters, Colin Hutton and Salter, Mick Cave and Andy Orchard, and then Bob Mills and Jeff Sims. The official result in a moment. Place number 12, Tim Bennett and Jason Glenie. In fourth place, number 87, Richard Jennett and Nick Walters. In fifth place, number 33, Colin Hutton and Ian Salter. In sixth place, number 5, Mick Cave and Andy Orchard. And in seventh place, number 3, Robert Mills and Jeff Sims. Winner's time, 1 minute 29.61. So that's the time to beat. Compare these other races to that, and we'll move on to race number 2. In this one we have number 11, Joe Fisher and Carl Jasper. 55, Jerry Adams and Sean Pittock. Unfortunately, a non-starter in number 13, John Halsey and Chris Skipper. As I said, they blew their motor up yesterday, and they're really desperate for some financial support to see through the 1992 season. A lot of money spent there during the winter getting that Yamaha twin to go, and very unfortunate to blow it up at first attempt this year. 17, Dave Steer and Ian Whale. 245, Peter Nunn. And Mark Nunn, non-starters, are they? Oh, looks like we've got no nuns. And number 34, Penny Hook and Darren Bartholomew. So Penelope Hook, a lady driving a 1000cc sidecar, and I can see her making her way up to the start line at the back of that bunch. Quite an impressive lineup here then, with Dave Steer, Jerry Adams, Joe Fisher, Penny Hook, but no Peter Nunn or John Halsey on the line then. Away they go. Jerry Adams flies off the start and into the lead. Dave Steer got second place there. He was actually first off the line, but he's lost a little bit of pace down that first place. Jerry Adams on the V-twin into the Yamaha here this afternoon, but he's actually riding the Godden V-twin. Jerry Adams and Sean Pittock in first place. Second place, Dave Steer and Ian Whale. A formidable pairing, and I'm sure they're going to go well when they get their act together and start getting used to each other's ways. Both have ridden on the separate machines before, so it's fine. 55, Jerry Adams and Sean Pittock, but a good lead over Dave Steer and Ian Whale at the moment. Joe Fisher and Carl Jasper, that's the outfit I couldn't recognise from the distance, and they're holding a good third at the moment. Quite a bit rather spread out. Jerry Adams also managed to keep that throttle on with something quite devastating there, and I bet their hearts went up in their throats. And the butterflies floated about in the stomach again. .55, Jerry Adams and Sean Pittock then. Good line round that turn this time. He's not going to make a mistake there. Second play goes. That's the first one of the afternoon for Jerry Adams and Sean Pittock. Very close on the line there was Dave Steer and Ian Whale, gradually getting their act together. Then Joe Fisher and Carl Jasper holding a good third. Lady Penelope and Parker then coming up into fourth place. Race number 3 comes to the line, and we get Nevill Penfold and Paul Randall. Mark Wells with that change of passenger. Matthew Fumarola. Non-starter number 26, Reg and Colin Blackburn. But 94, Eric and Trevor Colvin are there, and 41, Bob Heath. And Dean Bartholomew and Pete Colvin and Adam Coper-Smith. They come to the line. That tapes fly, and off go those machines, and just look at the flying start there by Nevill Penfold and Paul Randall. They come round that top turn, and Nevill Penfold certainly cracking that top line. Plenty of room. Pete Colvin and Adam Coper-Smith holding a good second. And looks like we've lost Bob Heath and Dean Bartholomew, unfortunately, there. Around the turn they come then. Flying very, very fast. He was as fast as he yesterday, but had a misfortune to break down in the final. Obviously, a bit of work overnight has produced the goods there, and the machine is really going. Even Nevill has time to look over his shoulder there and winds that throttle on and really guns it up that straight. Nevill Penfold and Paul Randall. Paul Randall used to ride with Mick Cameron, but now changed cabs and riding regularly on the side of Nevill Penfold. Nevill Penfold and Paul Randall then on their last lap from Pete Colvin and Adam Coper-Smith, another very experienced crew there, and then Mark Wells in third place with Matthew Fumarola in the chair, and Eric and Trevor Colvin bringing up the rear. Only 4 finishing in this one, what with 1 non-starter, and then looks like a chain off there for Bob Heath. I think he's got that thing there ready to roll now. Second play goes in Nevill Penfold and Paul Randall, followed by 99 Pete Colvin and Adam Coper-Smith, Mark Wells and Matthew Fumarola, Eric and Trevor Colvin. Penfold and Paul Randall. In second place, number 99, Pete Colvin and Adam Coper-Smith. In third place, 71, Mark Wells and Matthew Fumarola. In fourth place, number 94, Eric and Trevor Colvin. No 5th or 6th finishes. The winner's time, 1 minute 33.52. By number only, 2, 99, 71, 94. No other finishes, 1 minute 33.52. Unfortunately, we can't give that 5th place to Bob Heath, as he didn't complete 3 of the necessary 4 laps. On to race number 4, the last of the first qualifying leg of right-hand sidecars, and in this one, 24, Rob Wilson and Vince Jones, 32, Kevin Simmons and Peter Lane, 60, Bob and Paul Baseby, 184, John Hiscock and Shane Lapham, 350, Ian Holmes and Jason Holmes, and 501, Jason Mullet and Lynn Green. Lynn Green, a lady sidecar passenger of fine repute, used to go the a little bit the other way. No, it used to go the other way round. Sorry, used to go the other way round. With the 500cc sidecars, 500cc chariots going the same way round as the solos, and in fact she was British champion at that sport, but now she changes and goes to the right hand fraternity. And what a start there for number 24, Rob Wilson and Vince Jones. He's certainly gunned it out of that start there with that Godden V twin on the ball side. John Hiscock, Shane Lapham there in second place, Bob and Paul Baseby holding a creditable third, and well, they just swapped round before I could say that, so I'll try that one next time round. Jason and Holmes, they're obviously having a bit of problems, and let's hope they can sort those out. They had a few problems yesterday. 24, Rob Wilson and Vince Jones. On 184, John Hiscock and Shane Lapham. Then number 60, Bob Baseby and Paul Baseby. Then Kevin Simmons and Peter Lane. Then Jason Mullet. Then Jason and Ian Holmes. That flag, and 24, Rob Wilson and Vince Jones is all set to take the honours this time. John Hiscock is going up to second place. Then Bob and Paul Baseby holding on to that third. Kevin Simmons and Peter Lane holding fourth. Jason Mullet and Green in fifth. And Jason Ian Holmes in sixth place. So those they come down to take the checkered flag. That's the first of the afternoon for Rob Wilson and Vince Jones. Followed by John Hiscock and Shane Lapham. And over went Kevin Simmons and Peter Lane there, but looks like Kevin's up and okay, and Peter's on his knees at the moment. Jason Mullet and Lynn Green then taking that, I think that was fourth spot to them, and fifth spot to number 350, Jason and Ian Holmes. Well, let's hope there's nothing too much to drift up there with Kevin Simmons. He seemed to drift off that racing line and got caught up in the loose, and that's one place to avoid. Away they go then. Race 5. Vincent Kinchin going into the lead. John Wilson hard on his heels. And Mike Trevor in there as well. Round that first turn they go, and Vincent Kinchin going there. Rest off him his back wheel as he goes down that straight. Into the turn, leaning it over, throwing it sideways, cracking on that throttle. Very fast round that turn. Leading the way, Vincent Kinchin. From John Wilson. From Rob Camden. Then Alan Harmer, then Mike Trevor. Rob Camden trying to go to the outside of Steve Wilson there. Let's see what happens on this turn. Vincent Kinchin's got no worries though, he's really flat out and going. Nice line round that turn. Really winding it up well. John Wilson holding a good second place. Rob Camden trying to come up on the inside and gets him this time. Around that turn, he's there and gone. So he sets his sight on Vince Kinchin, but I think he'll have his work cut out if he's going to catch that man. If you let him get a start like that, you've got to do some work to catch him. Vincent Kinchin then takes the last lap flag from Rob Camden, from John Wilson, Alan Harmer, Justin Shaw, Mike Trevor, Paul Watson and Keith Matthews. Vincent Kinchin, that familiar trailing leg, that's 6 foot, I don't know what he is, 6 foot something. Longshanks, there he goes, he wins. Vincent Kinchin wins from Rob Camden in second, John Wilson in third, Alan Harmer in fourth, Justin Shaw in fifth, Paul Watson sixth, Mike Trevor in seventh, Keith Massingham comes home in 8th place. Official result then of race number 5, a fine win for number 8, Vincent Kinchin, opening his account here this afternoon with maximum points from his first ride. In second place, number 41, Rob Camden. In third place, 214, John Wilson. In fourth place, 121, Alan Harmer. In fifth place, 187, Justin Shaw. In sixth place, 331, Paul Watson. In seventh place, 23, Mike Trevitt. In eighth place, 117, Keith Massingham. No other finishers. The winner's time was 1 minute 42.50. That's the time for them all to beat then, 1:42.50 in the solo class. Looking back through those sidecars, and once again that rustling shows his superiority and comes home with the fastest time of that leg. Now, this game isn't all about being fast in one race, it's a game of consistency, and that's why there is an award this afternoon for the most consistent sidecar pair, and it's the Kim Blackmore and Martin Heel Memorial Trophies will be presented to the sidecar crew, totaling the most number of points during the afternoon. Points will be awarded in the A final to determine this, but the points in that A final will have nothing to do with the winner of the meeting, only for the memorial trophies. Turning over the page then, and up the top there, race number 6. Good line-up in this one. Chris Tretton, Colin Ridpath, Phil Ashcroft, Dean Norton, Peter Finch, Lucas Dodd, Mike Wells. Steve Jeffrey is an additional rider, number 606. Jason Hilliard and Mike Webster as well. Well, it's Chris Tretton that goes up into the lead. Lucas Dodd there in third place. Phil Ashcroft coming up on the inside. Very tight round that turn, but Chris Tretton holds on to it. Chris Tretton had the misfortune to break down, I believe, twice yesterday afternoon, so I expect he's been up all night preparing that machine, burning the midnight oil. Phil Ashcroft trying to go around the outside, but Chris Tretton holding on to it at the moment. Chris Tretton, Phil Ashcroft, Lucas Dodd, Peter Finch. That's the top 4 at the moment. Chris Tretton taking it, Phil Ashcroft up on the inside there. Phil Ashcroft going very wide, but picking up a lot of drive in the loose, cutting back on the inside, chasing after Chris Tretton. This is the battle we've been waiting for. Chris Tretton and Phil Ashcroft. Phil Ashcroft again trying that outside line. Watch him, I expect he'll try and cut that back and nip up the inside of Chris Tretton. Chris Tretton who throws himself off, and Phil Ashcroft goes right round the outside. Just the mistake he needed, but Chris Tretton again on the inside, fights back. What a dramatic race this has turned into. Chris Tretton, Phil Ashcroft. Lucas Dodd in third, keeping his distance, watching them two play in the sand. Round they come then. Last lap flag. It's Chris Tretton now, well clear of Phil Ashcroft. Then Lucas Dodd. Jason Hilliard. How big is number 1? Dean Norton going out with a real spluttering problem. Round the turn then, pulling in tight. Chris Tretton from Phil Ashcroft. A fight to the finish. Who's going to get there? Chris Tretton takes it. Phil Ashcroft in second. Lucas Dodd takes third. Peter Finch in fourth. Jason Hilliard limping home there, followed by Mike Webster. And Dean Norton still struggling to keep his 500cc machine going around that turn. I think he's going to head to the finish just for the points. Official result in a moment. Dean Norton. No other finishers. The winner's time was 1 minute 42.63. From the top, 3, 88, 65, 14, 47, 161 and 971. Winner's time 1 minute 42.63. On to race 7. It's 500cc solos again. Additional runner in this one, number 620, Michael Randall. 620, Michael Randall, an additional runner in race 7. So the line-up reading: number 2, Adrian Harden, 24, Paul Steinbritz, 165, Jason Jennett, 215, Steve Wilson. But away they go, off the line, down that first straight. A superb start for numbers 32 and 215, Kevin Buck and Steve Wilson. Around the first turning, Steve Wilson picking up an extra bit of drive around that turn and putting a few yards between him and Kevin Buck. Well, a corporal in the RAF is Kevin Buck, and I still believe he is the same Kevin Buck that rode some years ago. for a while, but now he seems to be back. Got posted overseas to the RAF and couldn't continue his grass career, but he's back now with a vengeance and riding extremely well, holding a good second place there at the moment. Steve Wilson leads then. Kevin Buck challenging hard in second place, then Simon Gittings, then Jason Jennett. Number 7 there, John Cook. So Steve Wilson holding on to quite a nice lead, but Kevin Buck might be able to force his way through there in a minute. It'll only take one mistake and that'll be his off top. Kevin Buck again gets on the inside, comes up and they cross that line for the last lap side by side. That's how they were on the start line, but Kevin Buck seems to have gained those few yards in that turn this time. He left his challenge for the last lap. Perhaps Steve Wilson's beginning to tire. Kevin Buck then leads. Round that turn, cracks on the throttle. Drifts a little bit wide. Steve Wilson challenging hard in second place, but that's a win for Kevin Buck. From Steve Wilson, Jason Jennett, Simon Gittings, John Cook, and James Cawthray. Number 5 then, Russell Miles, 620, Michael Randall. And a right battle to the finish there, just going to Paul Stuybrits ahead of Adrian Harb. Kevin Buck. In second place, 215, Steve Wilson. In third place, number 165, Jason Jennett. In fourth place, 179, Simon Gittings. In fifth place, number 7, John Cook. In sixth place, number 169, James Cawthray. In seventh place, number 5, Russell Miles. In eighth place, number 620, Michael Randall, the additional rider. In ninth place, number 24, Paul Stuybrits. And in 10th place, number 2, Adrian Harden. No 11th finisher. The winner's time was 1 minute 41.54. Quickly by number only. 32, 215, 165, 179, 7, 169, 5, 620, 24 and 2, 1 minute 41.54. On to race number 8. In this one, Trevor Banks, Chris Dix, Robin Pilcher, David Green, an additional rider there, number 369, another additional rider there, number 38, Chris Underhill. No time for the rest, but what a lineup here for the Scintillator 600. Trevor Banks leads into that turn. Duncan Tollers picking up a good second position to go to the inside line around that turn. But Trevor Banks winds on around the outside and holds on to his seat. Look at that front wheel up in the air as he went down that straight. Just watch this man go around this corner. He really is magnificent on a grass track motorcycle. 4, Trevor Banks leads from 74. Duncan Tollers in second. Then it's number 30. Chris Dix coming up through the field. There, the local man who's just down the side of the fence behind me. He's holding a good fourth spot at the moment. Number 4, Trevor Banks, then pulling wheelers as he comes past the box. 74, Duncan Tollers, then number 30, Chris Dix, then Julian Phipps, Chris Underhill. Chris Underhill short this last year. This last season completely, but he's back and being in the business. Look at Chris Dix coming up alongside Duncan Tollers there. Duncan Tollers looking over his shoulder saying, where did he come from? Trevor Banks though, no mistaking that man, starts his last lap on his home territory. Trevor Banks from Folkestone. Chris Dix in second place. Then Julian Phipps in third. Then Stuart Dempsey and Duncan Tollers just broken down with that machine there and had to pull out of the race. So let's hope he has better luck in the other 2 legs. Here comes the leader then, Trevor Banks, right into victory. Front wheel up in the air as he crosses the line. That's a win for Trevor Banks. In second place, number 30, Chris Dix. Followed by 73, Julian Phipps, and then Stuart Dempsey. first of the afternoon to number 4, Trevor Banks. In second place, number 30, Chris Dix. In third place, 73, Julian Phipps. In fourth place, number 12, Stuart Dempsey. In fifth place, 174, Robin Pilcher. In sixth place, 888, Barry Hellstrip. In seventh place, 201, Andy Cullen. No other finishers. The winner's time, 1 minute 39.96. From the top then, 4, 30, 73, 12, 174, 888, 201. No other finishers, 139.96. Race number 9, right-hand sidecars coming to the line, then their second leg, the second time you've seen some of these outfits this afternoon. Non-starter there, number 13, John Halsey. Number 13, John Halsey there, a non-starter. Number 6, Rustling, he was a winner first time out. He goes in this one. But looking at that lineup, he is the only man to have a win so far. So number 6, Rustling, going in this one with Bob Heath. Sorry, with Paul Urycz in the chair. Rustling and Paul Urycz going in race number 9 with 87, Richard Jennett and Nick Waters, Pete Colvin and Adam Coper Smith, Bob Heath and Dean Bartholomew and Jason Mullet and Lynn Green. So let's pick them up as they come around that first turn. It's Rustling and Paul Urycz on that going well, and Brett Jenner in second spot, putting his head down as the flying debris comes up off the back wheel of Rustling. So Rustling and Paul Urycz lead. Look at those fluorescent colours, lilac and pink. Pretty as a picture. Now talking of pictures, don't forget Pete's photos and Bob's video. Up there, on that top there. Rustling and Paul Urycz then on that very fast Kawasaki from the Richard Jenner and Nick Waters on another quacker. Then Pete Colvin and Adam Coper Smith. Then Bob Heath and Dean Bartholomew. Remember, they had a breakdown first time out, so they'll be happier with this result now. Only 4 outfits remaining. We've lost Jason Mullet and Lynn Green to the centre group there. That's bad luck for those. Rustling and Paul Urycz start their last lap in command of race number 9. Super fast. Rustling certainly looks like he's going to walk away with this one today. Second in yesterday's Salisbury Sizzler. Looks like he's Scintillator 600 this afternoon. Second place going to number 87, Richard Jenner and Nick Waters. Then Pete Colvin, Adam Coper Smith, Bob Heath and Dean Bartholomew bringing up the rear. 6, 87, 99, 41, 1 minute 29.47. On to race number 10 and a non-starter in this one, 245, Peter Nunn and Mark Nunn. So again, no Nunns in this one.
What's called the machine? Yeah, not open out of winning, but they go in, you know. Yeah. These are tiny.
Race number 10 then, on the line. Away they go, the tape's caught, so that looks like being a unsatisfactory start. Red flag marshals, please. tapes are caught round the machine there on the line. So could we have a red flag, marshals, please? Red flag, send them all back. Red flag, back to the start, riders.
I'm not saying nothing. Well, that's right.
Away they go, and a clean break this time. Tim Bennett gets away first. Jerry Adams right up there behind him. And then Gary Jackson forcing his way on the inside. So, an interesting line up here. Tim Bennett over the very tight line. Making Gary Jackson and Kevin Jarvis really work hard in second place. Then it's number 55, Jerry Adams and Sean Pittock in third. Then Eric and Trevor Colvin in fourth. And then Penny Hook and Darren Bartholomew bringing up the rear. Well, Tim Bennett then really showing he's back on form. Blows a bit hot and cold, this boy, but he goes to bed early enough on a Sunday night. Right run on Monday. Tim Bennett and Jason Glenie leading yesterday's winner. Gary Jackson and Kevin Williams. So Tim Bennett and Jason Glenie taking some victory spoils this afternoon. I know that yesterday he was caught napping on the line in the final, but he still made his way up to third spot in there. Just makes Gary Jackson work hard. As they start their last lap then, well clear. Well, not well clear, he'd like to be a little clearer than that. Gary Jackson seems to pick up the drive on the inside around that turn, but he's not quite there yet. Tim Bennett losing ground. I think he's tiring. Gary Jackson's there just waiting for the moment to pounce as they come down to the line. Who's going to get it? Tim Bennett, Gary Jackson. Tim Bennett it is. Gary Jackson in second spot. Then Jerry Adams and Sean Pittock. And now this battle for the last place. Who's it going to be there? Trevor Colvin, Rick Colvin, Eric Colvin seems to drift a little bit wide. And they've been really giving it the big one on the inside. Didn't quite get there though. Brave try by our lady driver. Good win there for number 12, Tim Bennett and Jason Glenie. In second place, working hard, Gary Jackson and Kevin Williams. In third place, number 55, Jerry Adams and Sean Pittock. In fourth place, number 94, Eric and Trevor Colvin. And in fifth place, number 34, Penny Hook and Darren Bartholomew. No six finisher, the winner's time, 1 minute 32.84. From the top, 12, 23, 55, 94, 34. Winner's time, 1 minute 32.84. Riders coming to the line now. We're racing number 11, the right-hand sidecar boys again. Running in this one, number 2, Nevill Penfold and Paul Randall. Number 24, Rob Wilson and Vince Jones. 71, Mark Wells and Matthew Fumarola. No Alan Blewett, no Reg Blackburn. Additional runner number 3, Robert Mills and Jeff Sims. And then number 11, Joe Fisher and Carl Jasper. And if he's got his machine sorted out, number 32, Kevin Simmons and Peter Lane. So 2 and 24, they both had a win first time out. So this is a bit of a sort out. Faulty start there apparently as Nevill Penfold goes back onto the grid. So perhaps the start not behaving itself quite so well. So the rider's got to go back and do that bit all over again. Well, you never know, you could be the lucky winner. All revved up and away they go then off that start line, and a lovely start that time. That boy's obviously been practicing them starts. Round the turn. And now Rob Wilson and Vince Jones take up the lead from number 2, Nevill Penfold and Paul Randall. That's a bit of a Bit of a home derby there with Rob Wilson and Nevill Penfold, both coming from the village of Staplehurst, so bit of local rivalry between those two boys. Rob Wilson and Vince Jonesy got the bit between his teeth in this one, going for goal. Then Nevill Penfold and Paul Randall settling for second place, then Mark Wells and Matthew Fumarola. Then Joe Fisher and Carl Jasper. Runner number 3, Jeff Sims. Last left play goes in, Rob Wilson and Vince Jones on their way this time. From Nevill Penfold and Paul Randall still holding on to their second place, then Mark Wells and Matthew Fumarola from Joe Fisher and Carl Jasper. Top turn they come, and flat here, there goes the checkered flag for Rob Wilson and Vince Jones. Their second win of the afternoon. Place number 2, Nevill Penfold and Paul Randall. In third place, number 71, Mark Wells and Matthew Fumarola. In fourth place, number 11, Joe Fisher and Carl Jasper. And in fifth place, number 3, Robert Mills and Jeff Sims. Winner's time at 1 minute 30.39. From the top, 24, 2, 71, 11, 3. No other finishes, 1 minute 30.39. On we go then with race number 12. And the riders just coming out of the pits, so I can see Bob and Paul Baseby on their way. They'll be going off grid 5. Also going to get Mick Cave and Andy Orchard, Dave Steer and Ian Whale, John Hiscock and Shane Lapham, Colin Hutton and Ian Salter, and Ian and Jason Holmes. That's your lineup for race number 12. Lining up then for race number 12. Who's it going to be in this one? Good lineup. Very strong sidecar field here this afternoon. Well, you tell me who's in front of that lot. It looks like Bob and Paul Baseby were just edging in front, but looks like John Hiscock's gone right round the outside. Bob Baseby cutting back on the inside line there, though. Really giving it the figure. John Hiscock, though, just holding on to that slender advantage. Dave Steer's got on the inside. He goes past Bob Baseby. Bob Baseby tries to cut back on the inside again. And does so. Goes past Dave Steer, gets himself back into second spot, but I think Dave Steer held him up a little bit there and let John Hiscock and Shane Lapham get away. Bob Baseby and Paul Baseby there. Looks like it could slip back again now as Dave Steer comes up on the inside. Dave Steer and Ian Whale. But Dave Steer goes wide and Bob Baseby pulls up on the inside again. It's a right ding-dong battle for second place in this one. All eyes must be on second place, but Bob Baseby seems to have lost a few yards this time. Paul Baseby getting down a bit lower on that sidecar, trying to make it drive, trying to get it round that turn. John Hiscock, sidecar wheel up, comes to that turn. He starts his last lap. It's John Hiscock and Shane Lapham from Dave Steer and Ian Whale. Then Bob and Paul Baseby, and then Mick Cave and Andy Orchard there. Rather a hot race. They seem to have calmed down though. They seem to have sorted themselves out. They've gone in for a very tight line around that last Jason take the second flag then. John Hiscock and Shane Lapham from Dave Steer and Ian Whale. Then Bob and Paul Baseby. And I'm sure we're going to see better things of Dave Steer as he goes on. He had a nasty accident there last year at the World of Kent Clubs meeting at Hilton Borough, but he's He's back with a vengeance this year, and I'm sure when him and Ian Whale settle to each other's ways of going on, they'll be a force to be reckoned with. Ian and Jason Holmes there bringing up the rear. Official result in a moment. Upham in second place, number 17, Dave Steer and Ian Whale. In third place, Bob and Paul Baisby. In fourth place, number 5, Mick Cave and Andy Orchard. In fifth place, number 33, Colin Hutton and Ian Salter. And in sixth place, number 350, Ian and Jason Holmes. The winner's time, 1 minute 33.57. From the top quickly, 184, 17, 60, 5, 33 and 350. 1 minute 33.57. Solos making their way to the line now. We're going to get Stuart Dempsey, Colin Ridpath, Simon Gittings, Paul Watson, Rob Camden, Peter Reid, John Murray. No, John Murray I believe is a non-starter. No Nathan Morton, he's got a broken kneecap. Feel very sorry for him, breaking a kneecap this early in the season. Phil Ashcroft, who we saw going extremely well earlier on, and Andy Cullen. So that's the lineup for race number 13. Let's hope it's not going to be unlucky 13 for anybody. Race 13 gets underway and Simon Gittings goes in the lead. Phil Ashcroft not making the best of starts but coming through the field in second place on that first turn. Simon Gittings then from Phil Ashcroft, from Paul Watson. Phil Ashcroft going for the inside alongside Simon Gittings and slides a little bit wide. Simon Gittings trying to cut back on the inside. Another great battle on this super Scintillator 600 circuit. 621 yards of greenery. Turning slowly to greenery. But a lovely day, a little bit breezy, but no dust and no mud. Superb racing conditions for the start of the season. Phil Ashcroft then, at half distance from Simon Gittings, Rob Camden, Paul Watson. And that seems to be only 4 remote. Oh no, Andy Cullen's still going round at the back there. Bad luck for Stuart Dempsey on the far side there. Must have broken down. 88 then, Phil Ashcroft takes his last lap flag. Well clear now of Simon Gittings, the early leader. From 41, Rob Camden. Then 331, Paul Watson. Then 201, Andy Cullen, who I believe is already a lap in arrears. So round the last turn for the last time, checkered flag will be in his sights as he comes out of this corner, winding up that motor. A win for, second win of the afternoon for number 88, Phil Ashcroft. Followed by number 179, Simon Gittings, then 41, Rob Camden, and 331, Paul Watson. There, the second of the afternoon for number 88, Phil Ashcroft. In second place, 179, Simon Gittings. In third place, 41, Rob Camden. In fourth place, 331, Paul Watson. In fifth place, 201, Andy Cullen. No other finishers. The winner's time there, 1 minute 39.91. From the top, 88, 179, 41, 331, 201. 1 minute 39.91. Sorry, Phil Ashcroft there at the second in his first ride. My mistake. So, getting better as the day goes on. Phil Ashcroft, second in his first ride, first in his second ride, improving as the day goes on there. Needs to buck up on his starting, I think, if he wants to win the meeting. Making hard work for himself by coming from the back. But it's spectacular for the spectators, so we won't have any complaints about that. On to race number 14, and we get number 3, Chris Tritton, 73, Julian Phipps, 165, Jason Jennett, 214, John Wilson. Number 8, Vince Kinchin. 121, Alan Harmer. 169, James Cawthray. Additional runner, 369, David Green. 23, Mick Trevitt. 153, Mike Wells. And 174, Robin Pilcher. That's the lineup for race number 14. See that one of the lads there has trouble starting his machine. Northern Pilcher, it looks like it's struggling to get the machine going, but it's up and running now. Off they go. Race number 14. Down this first straight, it's very level pegging down there, but 214, John Wilson goes into the lead. In the middle of that lot, not quite knowing where to go, I think. That's his first ride, but he's got a lot of work to do now as he comes up through the field. He's passed Julian Phipps, he's passed 165 Jason Jennett, and brings himself up into 4th spot. Looks like he slipped back to 5th spot and could be sliding back to 6th spot if he's not careful. But 214, John Wilson's got the lead from number 8, Vincent Kinchin, then 121, Alan Harmer. What's Jason Jennett on the inside of Alan Harmer there? Can he get through? Those boys not in battle. Julian Phipps goes out with trouble into the centre green. That's bad luck for the local man. Still ain't got far to push the bike home tonight. He'll be alright. Round the turn they come then. 214. John Wilson from number 8, Vincent Kinchin, 121 Alan Harmer, 165 Jason Jennett, then number 3, Chris Tripp, then Mike Trevor, then Robin Hilton. Bringing up the rear there, 369, Michael Randall, but out in front, where it counts, where it's best to be. Nothing being thrown at him, he's flat out and on his way. Taking that last lap flag, it's 214, John Wilson from Vincent Kinchin. Vincent Kinchin won a race out earlier, and John Wilson's previous race was 3rd, so he's improving, and unfortunately Vincent Kinchin's gone slightly backwards. But these are only the finals that count. Chris Tritton fighting through again there now, up into 3rd place, past Jason Jennett, but he's drifting wide. Jason Jennett comes up the inside. Chris Tritton goes down. Chris Tritton goes down. So a fallen rider on there, but the race going to 214, John Wilson. Never is a non-starter. Additional runner in this one if he comes out, 606, Steve Jeffrey. Off the line they go then and down that first straight. Number 4, Trevor Banks, another scintillating start here at the Scintillator 600. Wide round the first turn as always, and out in front. Trevor Banks then coming round there very fast and furious and rather wide, but he's looking behind him to see where the opposition is. No problem at all. Andy Buck there is in close attendance, but at this moment in time, not really a threat to Trevor Banks. So Trevor Banks, the local man from Folkestone, likes to do well on his home ground. Another man who had a lay-in this morning before turning up here. Winding that throttle on. At half distance then, it's Trevor Banks from Kevin Buck, from Lucas Dodd, from Barry Helstrip, John Cook, and Paul Stybritz. So Trevor Banks gained a few yards there on Kevin Buck. Going extremely well. Riding out in that loose stuff. He does like a wide line, does Trevor Banks. 1 lap to go for Trevor Banks. From Kevin Buck in 2nd place still. Then Lucas Dodd in 3rd. And in 888, Barry Helstrip, John Cook, and Paul Stybritz. Last turn then, for the last time, Trevor Banks, 1 win to his credit already here this afternoon. Adding another one to his list. There goes the checkered flag. That's a win for Trevor Banks from Kevin Buck, a creditable 2nd to him there. Then Lucas Dodd in 3rd place in fine form. And then 888 Barry Helstrip, John Cook, and then Paul Stybritz. number 17 then. 16, sorry. And away they go. Steve Wilson goes into the lead. Second is Bert Ryan. Behind second fast. A good battle he has there, but he's looking like he's improving on that position this time. Chris Underhill back from retirement, and he's just gone up from third into second place. Chasing hard now after Steve Wilson. Steve Wilson in good line round that turn and flat out. Chris Underhill, as I said, in second, and then Chris Dix in third. Justin Shaw, Russell Miles, Dean Norton, Keith Massingham. Four riders in this one. The last race seemed a little bit short, but plenty of action in this one. Look at those front three getting closer together as they come around that corner. Steve Wilson holding on to a slender lead now. Chris Underhill pushing hard in second place, and Chris Dix cutting round on the pegs on the inside. Steve Wilson then from Chris Underhill and Chris Dix. Chris Dix seems to have the legs on Chris Underhill as they go into that corner, and certainly seems to be catching up with Steve Wilson as well. Chris Underhill making it harder work for himself as he goes on. He wants that second place back. Here he goes around the outside. Chris Dix low riding a very tight, very good line around that corner. 2-1-5, Steve Wilson, no worries for him at all at the moment. One lap from victory. Chris Dix in second place. Chris Underhill in third. Then Justin Shaw. Then Russell Miles, Dean Norton, Mike Webster, Michael Randall and Adrian Harden. And Keith Massingham bringing up the rear. So it's last turn for the last time again. Next man over that line is going to be the winner. 2-1-5, Steve Wilson takes it. Chris Dix gets a good second place, and Chris Underhill a credible third to him. Followed by Justin Shaw. Dean Norton, who seems to have cured that misfire. Then Russell Miles, Mike Webster, Michael Randall, Adrian Harden and Keith Massingham. Race number 16 then, second time I've done that this afternoon. Race number 16, the official result there, a win for number 2-1-5, Steve Wilson. In second place, number 30, Chris Dix. In third place, number 38, Chris Underhill. In fourth place, 187, Justin Shaw. In fifth place, 971, Dean Norton. In sixth place, number 5, Russell Miles. In seventh place, 161, Mike Webster. In eighth place, 620, Michael Randall. Ninth place, number 2, Adrian Harden. And in 10th place, number 117, Keith Massingham. No 11th finisher, the winner's time there, 1 minute 43.01. From the top, 2-1-5, 30. 38, 187, 971, 5, 161, 620, 2 and 117. No other finishers, 1 minute 43.01.